Quick overview of the Quasidb spreadsheet. I've done 3 user guides already, and each video is 10 minutes long. I sort of figured to myself this morning, no one's really going to watch half an hour of videos, are they? So you can watch them if you want the user guide. They do go into detail quite a lot. But what I thought I'd just do is just a very quick overview video of what you'll get when you subscribe. So for $30, you get this spreadsheet and you get the signals too. Now the signals are found in there, right? So when I make this quick overview, I won't click on the signals because you guys, the non-payers could look at those links, right? So just make sure when you subscribe, you do click that tab, all right? So there's your Telegram channels. That's the one that you're on already, the Quasidb one. There's your private channel, which is where I post things. It's just a channel, so that's why I put the daily updates, chat group, and a technical group. So this is really good for charts, but it has to stay on topic. It can't, be off topic there. Essential applications. So what you want to try and do is match sentiment and technical, and these two are probably, some of the best applications that you could get. Definitely check that out. I've traded for 10 years now, and that's just really amazing for your sentiment, especially if you want to look at it over time as well. And because it's free, that's why it's essential. FX SSI have their indicators, but they're not free. They do come at a cost. But this is free, and that's free too. So what you want to do is get sentiment and technical, get them to match. And obviously, as long as you've got strict risk management and you've got your stop, and you'll be okay. Just don't move your stop, and that's the key. All right, so try and get the two to agree, and then you've got the confidence. And what will happen is that when you get used to the spreadsheet, then you'll get more confidence as well, because you'll understand how things work, with FX, and how price is engineered to screw the majority, and you'll see it unfold. It's quite useful. Recommend software, just stuff that I recommend. Zoop's really, really good. Check that out. I can help with the template there. Websites, it's my website there and the blog, which I'm doing videos every day now. I've sorted my microphone out. Recommended websites, tutorials, why you'd want to do the opposite of the crowd. That's quite a good article. It's quite old, but it's still valid. And there's your link there. So you just click that and away you go. You don't have to copy or paste it or anything. You just hover your mouse over and it just takes you to the web page. There's your entry and exit strategy using the pivots as your line in the sand, and the bias from sentiment, the Quasidb system. So just a quick one on the starter pack. Definitely worth checking these out. These are amazing, and because they're free, they're just really, really good. Dashboard. Now, risk calculation is used on an average over the week, over time. And what we're seeing over the last week, we're seeing a move towards zero. Now, if it goes above zero, then we've got risk off. So that'll be red, that'll be red, and that'll be red. And when they're all three are red, then we're going to get a red day on the markets. We'll have we'll have a bearish day because the retail have gone long, and because they're counter trends. The smart money are like, all right, well, these guys are going long. We need to bail and take profit. And what will happen is that these guys will get stopped out, and then they'll go short. And when the retail goes short, then that's when the markets will rally. So it's cruel, but what happens is there's the small fish and then there's the big fish. So the big fish are watching what the small fry are doing, and this is what we're doing as well on the spreadsheet. So we're going to get a risk off possibly tomorrow. It all depends what happens when I populate the data tomorrow. So this is a good one to look at in the mornings when you log in. Dashboard, check that out for risk. There's your bubbles that are broken down. There's your FX SSI high level. There's your bias and summary. FXCM snapshot data. Now you could use this for signals. It's entirely up to you. See on Monday, the 27th of July, we had a sell signal for France 40, the UK 100, and the dollar Swiss. Now, if you want to pause the video and then check the performance of those three over the week, then you'd have seen we're doing quite well. Now, what's interesting is that we had a confirmation of the sell on Tuesday on the UK 100 because it's deviated from the average. See, the colour is quite a strong red. We come down to Thursday, and how are we looking? No, sorry, Friday, DAX. That's by far the strongest red, and so it's the strongest sell. And if you look at your DAX performance, so useful. There's your rebound on the dollar Swiss. And we had a dollar rebound generally across a lot of pairs. So depending that carries on, then we'll get closer to zero. So we'll have to wait and see with that one. It's a funny one, really, because we're getting close to extremes. And so make sure you scroll down on the dashboard. So it's quite a long tab, that one. SLC and size. SLC, it means stop loss cluster. And what you want to do is check the size above or below. Now, for example, if we look at the Aussie dollar, of the two, one below is larger at 7155. So it's more likely going to target the one below than one above because that's where the liquidity is. And because the reads are often wrong, that's where price will go. And when something's larger than 5%, then it will flash up. When it flashes up, then we'll know where to target. So the euro yen was the largest size above 124.5. So price goes up to take those stops. If the size gets larger, then price carries on, because if it gets larger, they just simply move their stops higher, right? So if it gets larger, then we'll see a continuation. If it gets a lot smaller, job done. The school bully's got their lunch money, and price can fall. So it's unbelievably cruel, but what's good about this, you'll see how things work. There's just shifting across time. This is stop loss clusters over time. So we saw stop loss cluster being probed above for the Aussie dollar because the following day was a lot smaller. So price went up to take the stops, and it was like job done, and then it can fall. So quite useful. So you just see how that it went up there and it probed those stops and then it fell. So this is some information I'm collating just over time. How many times stop loss clusters get taken. So you see the cable rate, it was very spiky and it took loads of liquidity on its way up because all the bears were, everyone was bearish, this pair. So it's just a big payday for the banks, huge payday. Search tool, fairly self-explanatory. Some metrics there, some technicals, monthly pivot, weekly pivot. And because retail should be making money, this is a slight warning sign. So we should see price retrace to 13021 because these guys should be losing and then these guys should be losing. Now, currently the bulls are making money, and that's kind of a bit strange because retail are terrible. They're rubbish traders. And so they're going to get punished, I think. And then what we'll see is that these guys are losing and then these guys are losing. And that'll be normal in speech marks, okay? So I'm expecting to see price retrace to 13021. Likewise here, these guys are making money too. So I expect price to get to 116.9. Nice, quite easy to see chart. If it's up, then it's got a bullish technical. And there's your sentiment shift since Sunday. So that's it really. Search tool, very, very, very useful, and it's quite popular with the subscribers. Dynamic basket sentiment. So this is a strong buy. This is a strong sell. So when I reset the spreadsheet, all the bubbles were aligned on this axis, right? And this represents time. Okay, this is the time. This is the difference over time since last Sunday. and that's your long short. So it's quite clever, really, even if I say so myself. But it tells you what the dumb money is doing, and because the dumb money, they bought that, then it becomes a sell. So it's definitely useful. And the size indicates the performance on the day. So the yen had quite a poor day because the size is small. The dollar had a fairly good day because the size is large. Right, so definitely useful. I love the bubbles. This is definitely one of my favorite things I've ever made. So definitely check that out. And you can see how we had signal, a potential signal for the pound CAD. Signals I won't click on because you could see the links and stuff. Perhaps I could just go there. You can see how many pips we made. I won't scroll up because you can see the links. But you can see how there's so much green there on average just by using the baskets. So yeah, as I say, I won't scroll up because you could see the links. I don't want to show you guys the links for them because then you could get access to the signals. So, but of course, when you subscribe, make sure you click that and then you just click those links up there. Retail positioning. Possibly too much information for the majority of you. This is good for data nerds. It tells you the positions added over time, and so sometimes you get a mixed signal because the retail are confused, and so that's what that means is that they're actually reducing longs, they're reducing shorts, so they don't really know what they're doing with that pair. So it could be useful. Try and not trade mixed signals, try and trade the strong signals. Nothing really over here, just lots of data, and nothing really much down here either. Yeah, so that's that. Try and make this a quick video. It's going a bit over time now. I didn't want to make it longer than 10 minutes, but it's quite a long spreadsheet. What's that TP? Strange. Right, so my FX book, it's just shifting over time. And when it's green, then that's a buy. Stuff like that. So over here is fairly useful. And that's when it crosses the 50% line. And that's where your majority minority diverge. So it could be a signal. So you see how the pound yen is going into buy because it's crossed the 50% line. See? There's your basket data. Live prices, FX volatility, loading. I'll have a look at that in a bit. There's your monthly and weekly pivots, and that's it on that tab. Sentiment heat map. It's the MyFX book data, but it's expressed differently visually. So if it pops over, then it's a sell, and if it pops over this way, it's a buy. So just a technical heat map, and we've got an average. So we see how gold's got very much of a bullish bias to it. It's solid green. So that's that. Some people really like this. I find it quite useful. It's quite nice to see it move over time. So that's that. So potentially Euro USD is going to become a sell because the retail they're going along now. So that carries on over 10%, and we'll know. Just a bubble matrix summary. This is the reason why these are over this side of the spreadsheet because we're getting to like quite low level data, but this is good for if you want that information. This is what the signals are. This is how they generate the signals from this tab. So there's your bubbles. If we go left to right, see the pound was strong, green, right? And CAD was fairly weak across the board. You have to read from left to right. So actually the strongest signal was Aussie CAD. So that's how that's done. Quite cool. And static summary, dynamic summary, large movements, large bullish, large bearish. So yeah, it's quite a good tab. Remember to check that. You don't have to check it every day. It's the reason why it's over here. And this is just a fancy graphic just to say that the pound was strong because it was obviously above. Retail was selling it, and that's why it became a buy. Some mixed here in the yen, um, sort of mixed there in the kiwi. It's a bit of a sell, really, to be honest. Yeah, so that's that. Just a nice map of where everyone is. I need to populate this because I've been getting quite a few subscribers recently, so I need to add people. So if you're not added to this, let me know and I can add you. No problem. Top movers. Just kind of self-explanatory, really. Population thing. So yeah, not much really to say. Got data. Lots and lots of data. I've been taking it every week for ages. Now, what's interesting about this, the COT data, scroll right to Euro. Now, see, since 2018, it's quite bearish. And then we get to this year, March. We're starting to lean towards a bullish bias. Now, look at the Euro basket, doing quite well. And when there's peaks, then we'll see these numbers decline and we'll go into red again. But it's looking like we're not going to peak. I haven't populated Friday's data yet, so we'll soon see. And you get the COT data every Sunday. So that's just worth watching, So there it crossed over. So disclaimer, I won't talk about that now. You don't need to, the high risk already, but it's there anyway. And I've written an article, How to Mitigate Serious Damage. It's a good one. Definitely check that. Remember just to click on the link and then follow that hyperlink there. That's a good one. It tells you the lot size to the account that you should be using and what risk you should be using for your account size. Live news. So yeah, self-explanatory. So daily FX, market watch, FX Street. It's useful. What I've done is done a conditional format. So if it says bearish, then it flashes red. Higher is obviously bullish. So it's quite simple conditional format. Drops. I guess that would be the key word there. So that's it, I guess. Have I done any more? Test area. That's just a test area. I'm just got a play, somewhere that I'm playing with some data. So that's a video of the quick overview. So you do get a hell of a lot. You probably only want to use it up to here, maybe. Anything over there, it could be a bit surplus to requirements, but these could also be very useful as well, especially for high level, and you can see how strong things are. But yeah, just make sure you click the signals. People are subscribing and they're not joining the signals, so I guess what's happening is that they're finding the spreadsheet a bit confusing. I've broken it down in chunks, and just make sure you click that and you should be fine. So there's a video, just a quick overview, and yeah, I hope you have a good day, and I'll speak to you guys later. See ya.